Well, it's that time of the year again where we talk about the final race of the season. It's not a Homestead this year, it's a Phoenix, so I don't even know what to really say because my love for the sport has dwindled so much over the years, and I don't even know if I'll even watch anything next year. Maybe I will, but I mean, I barely watch less than 10% of this season, anyways. So I don't really know, and the main reason why is just because this format is such a fucking farce. It doesn't reward an actual champion. Very rarely does it ever seem to actually play out in the favor of the best person all year wins, because now it doesn't really matter. And it's not the fault of the drivers, it's just the fault of the format, because, the drivers are just doing what they can, but it's pretty evident when, you look on Twitter, you see Hamlin, Truex, Kurt, all being kind of, surprised that Harvick didn't make it, and it just doesn't seem like you can get the vibe from what Hamlin, Keselowski, other people have, like drivers have said about the format, that it's more for entertainment. There's just less legitimacy, and like Radman said, winning a championship just doesn't define you anymore as a driver. So if Hamlin goes on to win like another 30 more races and gets up to 60 or 70 wins or whatever, that's gonna be more impressive than getting a championship under this format. And it's sad because that's what a driver, your mentality is going for that championship. When that championship format is settled in a one race duel battle, like from the fucking movie Cars almost, like it's just a joke. NASCAR has lost its identity entirely in terms of like legitimacy of the sport with all the gimmicks, and I've just absolutely lost all my interest. And this weekend I just couldn't give much of a shit. Out of those 3 races this weekend, only one of them was legit. So we go again of more misery. We'll start with trucks. Actually, from what Racing Reference said, there was 3 drivers within like 10 points of each other in a championship battle. The whole debate on, the person would win the championship by like 2 races and it'd be boring. Well, the truck series, especially this year and multiple years before, have been decently close. So that defeats the whole fucking argument. And God forbid somebody has a big lead in the championship and wins it. Well, holy shit, maybe they fucking deserve it, because in sports, not football, we're not gonna factor in football because that's irrelevant, because it's not NASCAR. It's a whole different thing. I don't want to hear these comparisons of a certain team going 17-0 and then losing in the final round of some shit. No, that's not it. Football and NASCAR are fundamentally different, but NASCAR tries its fucking damnedest to be like it, and it's stupid. But trucks, it was basically a championship battle. What it really should have been between Moffitt, Austin Hill. Those two were close. And at the end of the day, Moffitt had the most points. He should have won, but no. Granted, they were dumb on not taking tires on the final restart. But again, Sheldon Creed won, which I think he was 3rd in points. So it's like, again, I don't want to hear the argument, more wins equals a championship. No, that's not how it fucking works. Sometimes, yes, the person that wins a championship does end up having the most wins. That doesn't always fucking happen. That's not, no. If we're going by that logic, then Newman in 2003 should have won the championship, even though he had like a dozen DNFs or something. No, that's just not how it works. Consistency also plays a factor. Despite Moffitt only having one, he was stupid consistent. I'm fine with that. In 2013, when Austin Dillon didn't win a race and won a championship, granted, it was kind of under funky circumstances because there was rain. They waited a long time for that, and Horners got boned on that. But Austin was deserving a champion even if he didn't win, because sometimes that shit fucking happens. It's surprising. Well, that's like the only time it ever happened, but it is possible. Crafton proved it in 2019. But yeah, it's just the trucks was depressing. Seeing a driver get robbed of a title. Granted, he should have pitted, but even without doing that, it was still going to be a close battle, hypothetically. So that was a joke. The only legitimate champion this weekend was Cindric. I fucking hate him, but he deserved the title. And I will be unbiased on who deserves and who doesn't because I look at the fucking facts. I don't care who it is. So Cindric deserved it, which is, that's fair. The format, 1 out of those 3 times, crowned an accurate champion. Granted, if it was a full season format, it would be accurate 100% of the time. But whatever. And then this weekend, I just didn't give a fuck about Sunday. I just didn't care. I slept. I should have just done a napping stream again. Because I just didn't care. Because whoever would have won, it wouldn't be deserving. Harvick had the best car all year round. And God forbid, maybe those last 3 races he wasn't having those like average finishes of freaking like 7.4 or whatever. But he should have won it. He should have been a champion. This format doesn't reward an actual champion. If anybody seriously wants to sit here and debate that he's not, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Statistically, across the board, in terms of wins, top 5s, top 10s, average finish, laps led, he's led in all those categories, doesn't win. Like, this is almost clownery of, like, the early 70s format where they rewarded points on different things per lap led, and then, like, you know, the stats look really funky. Like, it's almost as comically bad as those days. Which, I mind you, was 45 plus fucking years ago. But it was such a I just didn't care. I just didn't care at all. And I don't mind Chase, but he was 3rd best all year and wins under a farce of a format. I just don't know how you would feel to win a championship under this format when you just aren't the best all year. It just doesn't make sense to me. Most of this season almost doesn't fucking matter anymore. And I don't even know what the fuck I'll watch next year. I mean, literally, this is no joke. Bowling's more legitimate. That's not even a knock against bowling, because bowling straight up is fucking awesome. But that does not have any dumb gimmicks where they reset the points every couple of frames. No, it's just 10 frames. The matches are actually intense because it's fucking organic. Something NASCAR can't fucking grasp the concept of an organic championship battle that isn't cramming a Game 7 moment. Or Phelps doesn't like to call it Game 7 moments. He doesn't like to call it that. But they fucking are. That's the point. It's a joke. I hate this format. This weekend, like, Martinsville's just a fucking shit show because a championship just doesn't define you anymore like it was. And mind you, the Truck Series I don't think has a legitimate champion of like all season long since like 2017. Funny how that works. And it's just sad because, you know, I give a shit. I care about where the sport would head, and this format, I don't want to hear the argument like, oh, the ratings go up every year with the championship. No, it doesn't. It goes down. It keeps going down. Okay, they're unless something, maybe this week because Chase won and he's the next Dale Jr. coming across, then, you know, maybe it went up. Maybe it spiked a 0.5%. I don't know, but it's just depressing. I hate this format, and I don't want to go into a whole rant on just like the people behind the sport. I'm tired of watching people defend this gimmicky, unauthentic garbage. I really just don't. I don't even know how many tweets I made about the race this season. It's got to be under 20. It's got to be under that. I'm pretty sure. I mean, someone could probably look through my Twitter timeline and figure that out, because it's not like I tweet that often. But man, it can't be much. I mean, I used to give a shit, and now I just don't. When you force a format like this, the extraordinary moments become ordinary because they happen so often, because you're forcing that. You're cramming in that square into a fucking circle hole, and it doesn't fucking fit. And I'm tired of it. You know, and And it's just sad because there are people being like, there's like, you know, kids, early teenagers that grew up in this chase format that just don't understand like just how cool it was to watch a championship format organically form into that final race. Or there would be a season where a driver would just dominate. But you know what? It fucking happens. You know, sometimes there's just teams that dominate in racing. A fucking crazy concept. I mean, it worked for 45, 50 fucking years in the NASCAR format. Well, maybe not entirely because of the weird points shit, but 85, 90% of that time it would. And I don't want to hear the argument of, oh, let's go back to the chase format. Because 5 out of those 8 times, they were legit. But there was... Actually, I don't fucking remember. Is it 5 out of 8 that weren't or were? I know all this shit off the top of my head anymore because that's just what I use as fact because you can't judge the real format anymore. So, let's do some fucking homework. Let's do some goddamn homework, okay? We'll do it right here. 2004. It was Kurt that won it, but actually Jeff Gordon was best all year. So, already 0 for the like real life, and then 1 for the actual champion. 2005, Tony Stewart. Good, so now it's 1-1. 2006, Jimmy. So that's fair because they would have won no matter what. So let's look at the facts, okay? Let's look at the years where it was not like legitimate. 2004, 05 and 06, we already discussed that. 2007 was Jeff Gordon's year, but Jimmy knocked off 4 great races at the end of the year. So 07, not legit. 2008. Should have been Edwards, but it was Jimmy. 2009. Actually, it was legitimate. So I'll take that back. 2010. It was Jimmy, but in real life, Harvick destroyed the points. So that's 4. 2011. Tony Stewart won, but it was actually should have been Carl Edwards because he was the best all year. 5. 2012 was Brad, so that's legit. 2013 was Jimmy, so that's fine. So that's 5 out of those 8 years where it wasn't legitimate. That's not a good fucking odd. That's more than a 50% chance that it just wouldn't happen or it wasn't legitimate. So I don't want to hear that the 04 format or whatever would work. Let's go even further. 2014 should have been Gordon, but it was Harvick. 6. 2015 Kyle Busch, who missed a third of the season, should have been Harvick. 7. 2016 should have been Harvick again, but it wasn't because it was Jimmy who was running 8th in points. Wow, look at that, it's 8. 2017 was Truex. That was actually legitimate. 2018, again, should have been Harvick. Boom. 9. And then 2019 was Kyle Busch, so that was actually deserved. In 2020, obviously, should have been Harvick, but no. So that's 10 out of those 16 years where it just wasn't legitimate. So, not a good fucking odd. That's more than 50% of those 16 years being a farce. And that goes into another tirade of Jimmy Johnson's stats kind of being inflated because of the format, which is unfortunate because it's not his fault. It's just the system he was playing as. When he realistically should be like, you know, a true 3-time champion, but it's a whole other bag of worms. It's not his fault. It's just how the format is, and it's fucking stupid. It's been stupid since 2004, and it's stupider now, which isn't a fucking word. Whatever. So I'm tired of this format. I'm tired of NASCAR. Am I done with it? I mean, it fucking feels like it, man. Like I said it back in 2018 when they announced the 550 horsepower, more horsepower, or less horsepower, high downforce thing, which is a whole other fucking bag of worms in and of itself. It seems like next year they're limiting that still, but the fact that he even thought that was a good idea is so fucking stupid because Kansas was aggravatingly annoying because Harvick missed the Final Four because he couldn't get around them because the air fucking sucks and it just, all Logano had to do was block his lane and then boom, he couldn't do anything. It didn't matter. So that's just stupid. It's happened too many times. This package is garbage. Why the fuck would you want to take horsepower out of the cars? where probably the Xfinity and truck cars are probably more difficult and tougher to drive than a cup car, which should be the other fucking way around, because that makes so little fucking sense. Oh my god, my brain hurts thinking about it. Like, the state that the series is in, like, it almost feels like Brian France's coked out mind did the sport better than what it is now. Which I don't even think is true, because obviously 2021, the schedule is being revamped pretty heavily, and it's pretty good. You can only do so many unique tracks, but if the cars just don't work and they can't pass, then... Except short tracks. Short tracks were good. But again, it's just... If there's 36 races, then if 25 of them are just not worth the time, and like the other 11 are, then again, it's still not a really good ratio. I'm not gonna sit here anymore watching these races for hours. I'd rather just take a fucking nap. Like, it's just sad. It's just fucking sad, man. I'm pretty sure my thumbnail's just gonna be me doing this, which I'm not trying to meme it, or I'm just thinking about this shit gets me frustrated, because, like, you know, just watching somebody, it's like watching someone die. That's what this shit is. But I don't know, that's just my thoughts. It's such a... No argument on this planet will tell me that this format is legitimate. Is it entertainment? Yes. But we've lost our way entirely. We lost our entire way of how to crown a champion. And it's just such a farce. It's just not right. That'll do it for me. I'm done. I'll probably do one of these again next year, because I did these what feels like every single year since 2016. And it's just gotten more and more sad. So, bye.